Calls are mounting for peace and police intervention as the number of attacks against ANC councillors in the Eastern Cape is to be increasing at an alarming rate. In one of the latest attempts, Port St. John's Municipality Councillor Xolile Moni and his son sustained injuries after they were shot at. According to authorities, their home was also a satellite. This comes a week after an arson attack on the home of Mayor Nomvuzo Mlombile Cingo. ANC Eastern Cape PEC spokesperson Loyiso Magqashela is joining me now to discuss this. Loyiso, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on eNCA here. The ongoing attacks against some councillors in the Eastern Cape must be very concerning to you as the ANC. How bad is the situation?
Thanks, Braden. I think I must just be upfront to condemn the situation that is prevailing in Port St. John's, where our public representatives are attacked left, right, and center. The situation is bad because the service delivery now is at a standstill, and the leadership is living in fear. They have to be now operate under protection, which is something that we strongly condemn in the strongest possible way. And we are then trying to get around the situation by deploying our MEC for copter. There's going to be engagement lined up with all the structures in the area. The engagement with the local leaders, the regional leaders of Sanko, the leadership with the Taxi Association, Border Alliance in that area, are all the attempts trying to, ameliorate the situation, because we can't have our public representatives living in fear because they have a responsibility to deliver services to the people.
Do you have an idea, Loyiso, do you have an idea as the ANC who's behind these killings?
Look, we cannot speculate at this time. Hence, we have then banked our hopes on the law enforcement agencies to investigate everything else. But we can then confirm to you that the group that is leading the charge, we always associate everything with the group to say these are the people who are behind everything else that is the unrest that is taking place in Port St. John's. You wouldn't have anybody else to think about except those that are leading the protest and the unrest in that area. Otherwise, the law enforcement agencies are on the ground investigating, and all those people that are behind all the attacks and everything else will be brought into book sooner than later.
Is it the people who are protesting? What's the issue? What are they unhappy about?
Look, Braden, it's just something that one wouldn't at this day and age think it would be something that would really bother people to say. They would, in their municipality, want to see the bona fides employed in the senior management positions. Nobody else from anywhere except those hailing from that municipality of Port St. John's. Same as the demand to get rid of the mayor in that space. There is nothing else than that, which really is a bone of contention in that area.
And the investigations, as far as you know, by the police, how are those going? Are you, as an ANC in that part of the Eastern Cape, Port St. John's, on the ground, cooperating with the police?
Look, at this stage, it's kind of tough because they have barricaded roads there. It's difficult to penetrate, but police are trying all what they could to make it a point that they are in the space and they quell the situation to normality. Otherwise, I would say we cannot speak for police, but they can better express the condition.
No, I just wanted to know I wanted to know from the ANC side, from the officials, if there's cooperation with the police. Is Port St. John's a no-go area?
as they would want to project it, but it is not a no-go area. They would want nobody else to get into the space, hence the barricading of roads, because you would know there's only one entrance to the town. You don't have many, exit and entrance points in that town because it is along the coast and the road is just very small. You cannot, worm your way through. That is why they would be projecting it that way. But it is not a no-go area, and we have no intentions whatsoever to allow it to degenerate to such a condition, because that town is one of the most important towns for tourism and what have you in this province.
Are any of your members implicated in what's going on in Port St. John's?
Look, some of our members are part of the people who are causing unrest in the area, but they have then branded themselves through a particular, designated name that they are a concerned group and what have you. But you can then say, here is Magqashela, here is so and so, here is Den Moyana, part of this, and they are our members. They are raising these concerns. It is not that we do not have members forming part of that. Hence, we are making every effort to try and quell the situation by reigning over those that are our members, and then we isolate those that are just people who want to feed into that narrative that Port St. John's has to run and chase away people that are bringing skill and that those that are not from the area, to then project that the area should be only focusing on those that are bona fides, not anybody else. So we do have our members in that space, but for us to then say who are then the people responsible for shooting and all, I then maintain we would leave that to the police to investigate, but ours is then to say we wouldn't be looking any further than those that are leading the unrest in everything that is taking place in the area.
Yeah, well, very briefly as we conclude, Loyiso, what kind of action will the ANC then take if any of these members that you know are involved in the protests in Port St. John's get implicated in the killings?
Look, should anyone, the police will take, the law will take its course, because we want those that are behind all the unrest to face the might of the law. They must be arrested. And our members, should they then be charged, we do not hesitate to subject them to the internal organizational processes. The discipline, one of those, the immediate one, is to, once they are charged, they step aside if they are deployed anywhere else, or rather we then subject them to the disciplinary hearing. Immediately, they will be suspended without any doubt, should they then be leading that charge. Even those that are there, we will then reign over them, because you can't have ANC people chasing the very same ANC leaders that are deployed by the very organization they claim to be theirs. So we will not allow any anarchy to reign in that space, but rather we want calmness and then have services rendered and delivered the soonest to the people.
Okay, finally, very briefly, beyond Port St. John's, there have been other killings in the Eastern Cape. What is your take as the ANC, very briefly? We've seen somebody killed in Lusikisiki, for example.
Yes, look, we are observing that trend very carefully, and we just want to nip it in the bud. Hence, there has been the interventions by police, which I will not disclose here to say what are the police doing, but there is a serious reinforcement to the province, especially this side of town, by the police service, so that they kind of investigate, protect, and try and calm down the situation in this area. Otherwise, we are not happy at all to see such barbaric acts, visiting our province and making our public representative to live in fear. So we are observing that trend, and we condemning it in the strongest possible terms.
Thank you very much, Loyiso. That's Loyiso Magqashela, speaking on behalf of the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC in the Eastern Cape concerning violence that's been happening. The ANC councillors being targeted in different parts of the Eastern Cape. But the biggest headache currently seems to be in Port St. John's.